Welcome to the Business Spotlight Series. My name is Nate Woods. I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach Peachtree. Today we're here with Xingu del Rosario. He's the owner of XLVCB Martial Arts Academy in Peachtree City. We're going to talk a little bit about his business, his journey to business ownership, some challenges he's faced, how he was able to overcome them, and see what it's really like to run and operate his business. If it's your first time on the channel, make sure to like and subscribe so you get notifications when we have new interviews like this. And Xingu, welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Awesome. Just give us a brief overview about you and your business.
So I am a martial arts teacher. I've been doing martial arts since forever. At the age of 4, I actually teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a black belt under the Machados, under John Machado, and then I also teach capoeira. It's an Afro-Brazilian martial art. And I also teach Eskrima, which is a Filipino martial art that deals with like weapons, knives, learning how to use a knife, disarm a knife, and learning how to use weapons.
Awesome. So set the stage for the viewers. Tell us a little bit about the ownership for your academy. Are you the sole owner? Do you have any partners or outside investors?
I am a sole owner. I think, especially with martial arts schools, it's just easier that way. Since I've been teaching for a while, I know how to run it the way I need it to run. So currently it's just me being the sole owner. I've had people want to offer to be a part of it, but one of my things is, and people might think it's weird, like it's not necessarily about the space being bigger. What I notice is sometimes when you make a space that gets too big, people lose connection with each other. So when I found the space where I'm at, I make sure that every inch of that space is utilized so that I know that you're building a strong foundation for the gym to become a family. Because that's one of my biggest main point. Training martial arts, you're trusting this person through combat, right? So that trust, I want it to build outside of the gym. So I always consider everybody in the gym, we're one big family.
That's awesome. Really building community within the gym.
Exactly.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what does your day-to-day look like? What role do you play in the business?
Me and my wife actually does help me with the studio, and my kids take martial arts as well. So it's awesome because they're young and they like to do stuff. And they want to help. But basically I teach the morning classes, and then I have a break in between for privates. And then I come back mid-afternoon around 4 o'clock till it's about 7:30. I teach the night classes. So that's pretty much my day in and day outs. Teaching these art forms throughout the day, and whenever I have privates in between.
Awesome. So I find that having a team of trusted advisors is really beneficial for business owners. Do you have any trusted advisors on your team? Who do you bounce things off of?
Oh yeah, I definitely do that. But I don't. It's funny because I think of them. I don't call them like advisors or like business terms in that way. They're my mentors. So basically the people that taught me, since they've been doing it way before I was, right? I always like for my jiu-jitsu coach or my professor who I got my black belt under, John Machado, I always call him and seek his mentorship if I have a question about gym etiquette or things like that, because he's done it longer than me. And it's really cool because he's given me a lot of great advice. He's located in Allen, Texas. And he's just a really good mentor. So I actually bounce off a lot of questions off him pertaining to the gym and certain things that might arise.
Perfect. That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what makes your gym special. So primarily, who are you looking to serve? Who is your target client?
For me, it's anyone that wants to better themselves. Again, family is a big thing with me. I think people feel that camaraderie of when they're training with us, but it's about people who want to better themselves. Whether they want to become a better fighter, whether they want to become better at this, want to learn how to protect themselves from being bullied. I had an incident happen with that where this person was getting bullied and was able to use martial arts to defend themselves. Whether it's someone who's been traumatized in some things and wants to feel like they can at least feel strong within. So I cater towards that a lot because martial arts actually saved me from everything and gave me everything, from my wife to my kids to the house that I'm staying in, to even being part of the entertainment business. So I really dedicate a lot to it because I was given an opportunity, and that opportunity helped me go further. So I just wish to give that to other people.
Perfect, perfect. So tell me a little bit about your academy. What makes you unique? Why do your members come to you instead of a different training facility?
One of my biggest things is one, I convey to people how to get better quickly. I don't put a cap on their learning experience. So I think people like that. Like a person who's a white belt can actually learn the same things that a brown belt or even a black belt. No, it's just a matter of putting in the time. So a lot of people come to me actually to get help their games get better. I have people that I teach privately from different states that online they were like, hey, how do I get better at this? So I help out with that a lot. So I think my learning curve when people train with me is a lot quicker. That's what I've been told. And the fact that again you feel safe in your environment and you actually come out going, wow, I learned something. Because sometimes martial arts can be overwhelming, and sometimes people will just go, hey, here's this, here's that, and then they don't get it, and then well, you'll eventually get it. My students always tell me, man, every time you explain it, I really understand it and I get what you're talking about. So I think that that is probably one of the biggest things, is that people learn quickly with me.
That's perfect. So talking about getting the word out about your academy, what is one thing that you wish more people knew about your business?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I would like people to know that we are a family gym and that it doesn't matter, kids, women, men, everybody's welcomed. It's catered for everybody, and that we genuinely want you to become better person through martial arts. So that's one of the things I always convey to everybody. I live by this motto that I have in my gym: may my character not spoil my destiny. And that just let people know like we are about character. I sometimes think that could get lost along the way, especially with martial arts, because it can get competitive sometimes. Um, but I do want people to know and I feel when they walk into this gym, they're like, this feels like home, you know?
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we talked a little bit before the interview here, and you relocated to the Atlanta area a couple of years ago. When you're rebuilding your business, marketing is extremely important, getting the word out. So when you were rebuilding everything, what did you find was the number one marketing strategy to get people to recognize you and come in?
Personally, for me in my business, what really works out here, it was different in where I was before. Out here, word of mouth. It's golden, and I love that because trust is the big thing with everybody. So just the fact of word of mouth of like, oh, I know this guy. Hey, you gotta come try it out. And then, I've had people come in like, oh, I heard about you like 3 months ago, and then they come in like, oh my God, this is amazing. I feel like that's stronger, because of where I'm at. It's more of a family environment. Word of mouth seems to be the biggest thing. I've done other stuff before, and the other stuff I did before when I was over where I was at before, it didn't quite work here.
That's interesting. So I'll ask you a follow up because I had another interview not too long ago with another guy that relocated from LA, different industry, but he kind of told me the same thing. So let me ask, when you were back there, what would you say was the best marketing strategy used?
For me in LA was a lot of like uh, doing a lot of shows, doing a lot of events. Um, Facebook helped a lot out there as well. So that's what I mostly used out there. I did a ton of like demonstrations at different schools and whatnot. So that helped a lot, passing out flyers, um, those types of things.
Yeah, that's interesting because he really said the same thing. When he came here, he found that it was so much more community based and people are looking for that referral to, who do they need to go talk to? So
Yeah,
it's interesting you brought up the same.
yeah, it's interesting because referral, like, one of the things I thought was kind of different was no one uses Yelp out here. I was like, oh, okay. So that was like a big thing in LA. Like here, it's like Yelp is the person that's next to you, which is great because I think that's more. organic and it's truthful. You know,
That's
it's
awesome.
a real person that you're dealing with. Like, and when you get sense, you know, when you're looking at reviews are great, but when you're looking at it, it's just words, right? But when you're hearing it from somebody, you can feel the internal monologue of what they're doing, of how they're expressing this place. So that seems to be the like the big thing out of which I like. I love it because as technology goes higher, I always feel like connection sometimes gets dissipated, and connection is a main thing for us as people, especially in martial arts. It's all about connecting, you know, whether it be combative, but it's also an understanding between us too. Like, hey, we're just trying to get better here. We're trying to connect without using our words.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. So, talked about the business a little bit. I want to jump into kind of your journey and how you became a business owner initially. So, what made you choose to go into business and open your own academy versus working for somebody else?
Yeah, the funny thing about that is I didn't want to do it. I was told by my teacher you should do it. So my other mentors, I started off with one mentor, then another mentor in the different art forms that I do. And they're just like, hey man, you're at this level, you should start teaching. So I was just kind of like, okay. And I remember when I first started teaching, it was very nerve-wracking and scary. Um, so it was one of those things that it just made me get like really, really, it took me out of my comfort zone because in the truth of it is they knew I needed it. You know, I was like, who am I? What, if I tell people what to do, why would they listen? And I think they knew like this is the next level for this person. So I really appreciate that because I didn't want to do it. I was just gonna, you know, I'm gonna stick to like acting and just do martial arts because I love it. But then when they go, hey, you need responsibilities, I'm like, wait, what? What? So that was it was very interesting.
Awesome. So, when you're looking back on your journey, is there something that stands out as a roadblock or a hurdle that you had to overcome that really made a difference in your business ownership?
Oh, yes, definitely, because it's still new and everything is the fact that I had to relocate. Knowing to start from the beginning again is never a bad thing. Because all the information and all the data that I had from where I was at in LA, I was able to compare and understand that, okay, look, I know what I'm doing. So no matter what, even if it didn't do well here, I know I can go wherever I'm at and I have the confidence of understanding what it is to build something from the bottom up. So, which is really cool because having that data and having that knowledge of doing it, I'm in my third year here, but technically on paper, I'm in my fifth year. So it's like the numbers, oh, okay. Oh, cool. Okay. I know what I'm doing. So that really, it was scary, but at the same time, going through it, it made me realize when you're in a business and you start a business from the ground up, no matter whatever happens, whether it be, you know, I don't know, a disaster or anything, the fact is you had the knowledge to start. You just got to keep going.
Yep.
So the secret to all of it, I feel, with businesses is just keep going because whatever bad thing happens, that will pass. And as long as you're still passionate about what you do and still believe in what you do, you'll still rise up because the only person that can stop you from making your business do well is you.
Yep. Yep. So, as you kind of look to the future, where do you see the business in the next 3 to 5 years?
3 to 5 years, having more students, creating bigger families through it, having bigger connections of family. You know, it's already, I see it already happening. So I step back and just watch. And I know the next part of it is having, like, again, that same thing that would happen to me, my upper belts. All right, it's your turn to start mentoring. It's your turn to step up to the plate, you know, doing that because by then I'll have more advanced people underneath me, giving them that responsibility, which could give them that power of understanding that they can do anything.
That's cool. That's cool. So, as you expand, do you find that you may have to bring on additional team to help you
Yeah.
run the academy?
Yes, it's gonna probably be like that. In LA, it was definitely like that. So it's the natural course, because especially if you do something that you love, you want to share. And to help that next person later on, you get 10 people, you might get that one person who goes, hey, I want to do this. I want to do exactly what you're doing for a living. because it's part of my journey. I see it. At least I could be there to help mentor them in the right direction.
Yeah, that's awesome. Bringing people along, sharing your experience so they can do the same.
Exactly.
Cool. So before we jump into a kind of a rapid fire couple questions, so these will be top of mind. Don't have to think too deep about it. Just first thing that comes up. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So what is the number one key to success for you?
Never giving up.
Awesome. What would be one piece of advice you would give other business owners?
Business planning and stick to it, but at the same time, be flexible.
Awesome. Is there one book or course or podcast that you have read or listened to recently that you highly recommend?
Oh, well, I listen to Joe Rogan all the time. So Joe Rogan, that's what he says.
Perfect. And we're always trying to get better. So is there one area of your business that if you could immediately improve it tomorrow, what would you choose?
Generating more people awareness. So somehow maybe like I used to do like an event or something to bring more people together quickly.
Cool. So before I get into my final question today, what is the best way that people can learn more about you, more about the Academy? What's the best way to get in touch?
You can reach me on my website at xlbcbmartialarts.com. You can also find us on Instagram, XLBCB Martial Arts, or Facebook as well.
Perfect. Awesome. I'll link those in the description so people can easily find them. And my last question for you today is, what most inspires you as you move forward with the business?
My family. My family is the biggest inspiration for everything I do.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been great talking to you and learning about your business.
Thank you for having me.